I have always wanted to work in Antarctica. I think that going to Antarctica was my life goal. Becoming an electrician was my way of getting to Antarctica. Once I went down the first time, I knew that's where I wanted to be, and yeah, I guess it's really changed the course of my life in a way. I've now been there 3 times, and yeah, now this is what I do for my career. When I was down there first, there was really only a handful of women that had been. I didn't come across any in my day-to-day work. But certainly in the last 5 years, I've seen a number of women come down in those roles, and that's really, really good for me to see that, because I live by the mantra that you can't be what you can't see.
Back in the day, I remember being told that women were a distraction on station. And I don't think people would publicly say that now and think that was okay. And I think most of our expeditioners wouldn't think that. 30 years ago, it was quite a common comment and lens that women were a distraction. I think the all-male winter is not so much a thing at all anymore. Women are still in the minority. We've never had an all-women winter. That'd be a great thing to try and achieve, just for the novelty. I think the other thing that's changed is back in Australia. We're seeing more women in leadership positions in the Australian Antarctic program. So there's so much more to the Antarctic program than just what happens down south.
I think women going to Antarctica, having it been a very male-dominated area for so long, they provide a different way of looking at how we approach the environment, how we do things, how we even talk about it. I would love to see more women down there, so we start to get that balance. We're still not at 50-50, but it would be great to have more women down there and more women in those senior roles within station. That to me then highlights that we're moving forward as a program. It's where we want to be as a society, where everyone's treated equally and everyone has equal opportunities.
I guess it's the same as society. We need the diversity of people to really sort of make a community and make our society work well. And I think it's the same, just on a smaller scale at a station. We need that diversity of capabilities, the diversity of ways of approaching problems and being able to interact with people. And so having women on station and as part of the Australian Antarctic program is just an important part of making sure that we've got that diversity.
You know, being a part of something that really globally is looking at the environment and how we can learn from the past so that we can protect the planet for the future is something that I get drawn to. I'm not a part of the science, but I look after the people that do the science, so that's very rewarding. And then I think also the community that you build there, when you're actually in an environment that's quite remote and that you're working and living with these people constantly for the duration of your deployment, how tight and close-knit you become, that there isn't any kind of judgment. You can go down, be you, you're accepted, you're a part of the community.
I think the women who trailblazed in the Antarctic program with me 30 years ago were amazingly resilient, and anyone who isn't still in Antarctic science. So there has been an attrition or a loss of people who really struggled with the gender imbalance, socially, professionally, but those who hung around are amazing women, and many of them are now leaders. Many have still had challenges to get where they are today, but I think it is worth acknowledging that we lost a lot of women along the way.
I have a huge sense of gratefulness for all the women who've come before me, because, I know that the journey hasn't at all times been the easiest.
50 years later, that we have a program that embraces everybody, and you can go and experience something extraordinary in your work and personal life.